Are you ready for a revolution in farming? Vertical farming has been touted as the solution to feed our growing population without damaging the environment. The concept of stacking multiple layers of crops on top of each other, inside controlled environments, is gaining traction worldwide. But can it really save the world? In this video, we explore the potential benefits and challenges of vertical farming and its impact on food security, sustainability, and economic growth. Join us in discovering whether vertical farming is truly a game changer for agriculture or just another buzzword. It's hard to imagine, but there are people in this world who don't have enough food to eat. In fact, according to the United Nations, there are currently over 820 million people who are chronically undernourished. And this number is expected to increase due to population growth and climate change. But what if there was a way to produce food that didn't require all the land, water, and other resources that traditional farming does? That's where vertical farming comes in. Vertical farming is a type of agriculture where crops are grown in vertically stacked layers in a controlled environment. This means that vertical farms can be built in urban areas, using a fraction of the land and water that traditional farms do. So could vertical farming be the solution to the world's food shortage problem? It's certainly possible. But it's important to remember that vertical farming is still a relatively new technology, and there are many challenges that need to be addressed before it can be scaled up to meet the needs of the world's growing population. Vertical farming can produce higher yields of crops per unit area than traditional farming. Research has shown that vertical farms can produce up to 100 times more crops per acre than traditional farming. This is because vertical farming allows for more efficient use of space and resources. For example, vertical farms can use hydroponic systems to grow crops in a controlled environment, which can lead to higher yields. In addition, vertical farms can utilize artificial lighting and climate control to optimize conditions for plant growth. These factors combined can result in significantly higher yields of crops per acre compared to traditional farming methods. Vertical farming is a type of agriculture where crops are grown in vertically stacked layers in a controlled environment. Vertical farming uses 70 to 90% less water than traditional farming. This is because water is recirculated in the hydroponic or aeroponic system and is not lost to evaporation or runoff. In traditional farming, water is lost to evaporation and runoff. Evaporation occurs when water evaporates from the soil into the air. Runoff occurs when water runs off of the land and into streams, lakes, and oceans. In vertical farming, water is recirculated, so it doesn't evaporate or run off. The amount of land needed for vertical farming is also reduced because crops are grown in vertically stacked layers. This means that more crops can be grown in a smaller area. Vertical farming can be done indoors or outdoors. Vertical farms can grow crops in a smaller footprint than traditional farming, allowing for more efficient use of land. This is particularly important in urban areas where space is limited. By growing crops in vertically stacked layers, vertical farms can produce more food with less land. In addition, vertical farming can help to reduce soil erosion and water pollution by using recycled water and nutrients. Vertical farming is an agricultural practice that involves growing crops in vertically stacked layers in a controlled environment. This type of farming can be used to produce crops year-round, regardless of the season or weather conditions. This type of production ensures a consistent and reliable food supply. Vertical farming can improve food security by providing fresh, locally grown produce in areas where food is scarce or expensive. This can help reduce food waste and improve access to healthy food. In addition, vertical farming can help to create jobs and economic opportunities in communities where these resources are needed the most. The use of pesticides and herbicides can have negative consequences for the environment, including polluting waterways and killing beneficial insects. Vertical farming can help reduce the need for these chemicals by providing a controlled environment that can prevent pests and diseases. In addition, vertical farms can recycle water and nutrients, further reducing the need for pesticides and herbicides. Vertical farming can help mitigate the effects of climate change by reducing greenhouse gas emissions associated with transporting food long distances. The practice of growing crops in vertically stacked layers in a controlled environment can reduce the need for large tracts of land, as well as the energy and water required to grow food. When done right, vertical farming can provide a year-round supply of fresh, nutritious food while using a fraction of the resources of traditional agriculture. While the jury is still out on whether vertical farming is a true panacea for our ills, the technology does offer some hope for a future in which we can produce more food with fewer resources. In a world threatened by climate change, that's something worth pursuing. As the world's population continues to grow, traditional agriculture methods are facing increasing challenges. One of the biggest challenges is the limited amount of arable land. With more people on the planet, there is less land available for farming. This problem is compounded by the fact that much of the world's arable land is already being used to its fullest potential. Water scarcity is another major challenge facing traditional agriculture. With a growing population and changing climate, many areas are experiencing more frequent and intense droughts. This puts a strain on farmers who need water for their crops. Extreme weather events are also becoming more common due to climate change. These events can damage crops and infrastructure and disrupt transportation networks. As a result, food production can be lost or delayed, leading to higher prices and shortages. The World Resources Institute estimates that around 25% of global food production is lost each year due to extreme weather events, pests, and diseases. This loss could be reduced if farmers had access to better information about upcoming weather patterns and crop conditions. Additionally, vertical farming practices could help reduce some of the risks associated with extreme weather events. As the world's population continues to grow, there is an increasing need for alternative methods of food production. Vertical farming is a promising solution that can produce high yields of fresh produce in a small footprint. Additionally, vertical farming can reduce the distance that food travels, thereby cutting down on greenhouse gas emissions associated with transporting food long distances. With its many potential benefits, vertical farming is a promising solution for meeting the world's growing food needs. While vertical farming is not a panacea for all the challenges facing global food production, it has the potential to improve food security by providing fresh, locally grown produce in areas where food is scarce or expensive. By reducing the need for transportation and storage, vertical farming can also help reduce food waste and improve access to healthy food. In addition to improving food security, vertical farming can also have a positive impact on the environment. By reducing the need for transportation and storage, vertical farming can help reduce carbon emissions associated with the food supply chain. In addition, vertical farms can be designed to use renewable energy sources, such as solar power, to further reduce their environmental impact. While there are many potential benefits of vertical farming, it is important to note that the technology is still in its early stages of development. As such, there are a number of challenges that need to be addressed before vertical farms can become a mainstream solution to global food production challenges. For example, vertical farms currently require a significant amount of upfront investment to build and maintain. Additionally, vertical farms rely on artificial lighting and climate control systems to create optimal growing conditions, which use a significant amount of energy. Finally, it remains unclear how well crops will grow in vertically stacked layers over time. Despite these challenges, vertical farming has the potential to play a major role in meeting the world's future food needs in a more sustainable way.